What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another down and dirty how-to with bugs. For this one, I'm going to give you guys a no bullshit straight up look on how to get the SA-342 Gazelle up and running. I've been playing with this one for a little bit, and it's really not that complicated to get a good grasp of this. So I'm going to walk you guys through it step by step, show you the controls that you guys are going to need mapped just to make life a little bit easier. I don't have a majority of them set just yet, but I do have the critical ones set. I will walk you through that. So let's unpause, let's jump into it, and let's get the Gazelle up and running, ready for flight. So certain things are going to depend on the loader that you're carrying. I am not carrying anything on this one right now. We are a completely clean aircraft, so I'm not worried about the weapon system, the camera system. This is just get you up in the air and get you flying. So we'll worry about the weapon system a little bit later on. So let's take a look at our controls right quick. So our axis commands, will start there. Our basic ones are collective, our pitch, our roll, and our pedals. Those are obvious. We're going to need those in order to do anything. And then with the Gazelle, we're going to want our fuel flow lever and our rotor brake lever. Excuse me on that one. Sorry about that, guys. So the rest of the stuff that I have set up is honestly for the weapon system. We don't really need to worry about any of that right now. So the only other one that we're going to deal with is our trimmer reset, our trimmer, and our trim hat switches. Other than that, you don't need much else to get this thing flying. It's really not that difficult. So let's jump into the cockpit really quick. You can map your battery, alternator, and generator buttons and all that kind of stuff. I have yet to do that. That will be happening rather shortly, though. So we're just going to do it with the mouse so I can show you guys the switches that you guys need to hit to do this. So we're going to start with our battery, alternator, generator. Let's get the three of those turned on. You see our standby gyro. He's doing all sorts of wonky stuff there. Let's get our fuel pump turned on. We have to wait 20 seconds for this to do anything, or to come online to build up pressure, so we'll deal with that in a second. While that's doing that, if you guys want, you can uncage the standby stuff. You can do it when the engine's running. Totally up to you guys, whatever you're comfortable with. I like to get it out of the way early, just so you don't forget to do it. So let's press and hold this until it stops doing the cha-cha. So there we go. Perfect. And this thing, same thing. Let's pull that. Let's just cycle this a little bit just to make sure it's not going to do anything stupid on us. Okay, there we go. So you could set the timer down here for your 20 seconds. Totally up to you guys. It goes by quick, so by the time, honestly, if you do the standby instruments, you should be good to go. So we got that all out of the way. Everything is ready to go. Alright, we are ready for engine start. So we have a few things that we have to pay attention to here. So this gauge is one of them. That's our RPM. This switch right here is our starter. The yellow handle is our fuel lever, and the red one is our rotor brake. So we're going to leave these two alone for now. We're going to flip the starter up to M to turn it on. We're going to let it come up to 2,500 RPM. We're not going to do anything until that point. So let's hit this up. There we go. The needle's coming up. Voltage is coming back up. Alright, voltage stabilized. We're at 2,500 RPM. Okay, so now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to push the rotor brake full forward. And now is when we have to start paying attention and being very careful. So the way you start the Gazelle is you start introducing fuel very slowly. If you jam the fuel lever full forward, you're going to flood the thing out. It is not going to start. You're going to have a horrible time with it. So you want to go nice and easy. But before you get to that point, we got to get the rotors turning. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce fuel very, very slowly until the rotor blades start turning. But once they start turning, we're going to stop. And then we're going to come back to this gauge down here, our RPM gauge, and we're going to wait until the two needles marry each other. So you see the one up here is facing 12 o'clock, and the one down here is facing about our 7 o'clock. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in a second. Let's start opening our fuel valve very slowly until the rotor blades start turning. Alright, here we go, nice and easy. By 30, you should have a light off on your RPM. There we go, there's our light off at 30. Rotors are turning. Don't touch anything further. Let the rotors come up to speed. So here's that little needle starting to move back up. So we're going to let that marry the big needle at 30. And then once it stabilizes, we'll move on from there. Okay, the needles are married, everything sounds good, everything looks good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to open our fuel valve the rest of the way, but we're going to do it exactly like I said, nice and gentle, very slow, so we don't flood the thing out and the engine dies on us. So let's crank it up nice and gentle, just keep an eye on our RPM gauge. And it is helpful to have this bound to an axis, guys, if you have one available to you. If not, you could do it with the keyboard, but just do it on very small increments. We want to keep those two needles together. Alright guys, we're at full fuel. Looking good. We're right where we need to be. Our alarm light is out. You can go ahead and close the doors now. I'm going to do it just for the video purpose so I don't have to talk louder over the helicopter, so you can close them whenever you're ready. Usually I'll close them just before we take off. So once we got all that set up, our next step is we're going to come over to our gyro panel here. Click it over to GM. Let that do its thing. And then let's come down here. Turn that on for our navigation. Let's do a Naviline. So once these three lights turn off, I'm sorry, then that'll be ready to go. So while that's doing that, let's get our radio panel set. This could be a little difficult to see, guys, so it's under our armament switch here. Click that over. Let's get our countermeasure system online. Let it do its thing. Let's get our pitot switch on. Our trim switch on. And then down here on our autopilot panel, pitch, roll, yaw, turn those on. Turn the master on. Alright, so we have one of our lights are out over here. We're waiting for the other two. Okay. Our gyro is ready to go. And our INS is ready to go. That's our nadir system, NADIR. Let's click that up one. And here we go. So from here you guys can set whatever you guys need for your navigation, and also from this point you can set up whatever weapons that you guys see fit. Also bring your iPad out, whatever you want to call it, your tablet. Let's turn that on. I like to give the trimmer reset a click just to make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be, and we're not going to do anything wonky on takeoff. Let's let this come up online, and then once that does, everything else looks pretty good. Okay. There's our tablet is online for our navigation system. And just like that, guys, we are ready for takeoff. So from here on out, all you have to do is bring her upstairs. And like I said, when I first flew it, the only thing you need to really remember is, as opposed to any other helicopter that you're used to flying, like the Huey or the Apache, with this, you're going to want to give it a little bit of right rudder as you start pulling up on your collective, because the direction the rotor blades turn. And then just like that, you guys are flying. I really hope you guys found that helpful. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe for more. Check out Bugs' DCS Cruise Discord server. Jump on in for a flight. If you guys need help with anything, I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe for more. Again, we're almost at the 1,000 subscriber mark. Let's push it forward. And until the next sortie, strap in, warm up the seat, and keep flying.